Hello and welcome back for another historic gameplay video. Today we're going to be revisiting this Venerated Rotpriest deck. The deck is trying to win via poison damage, mainly generated from the Rotpriest. It's a 1 mana 1/2 with Toxic 1, meaning whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they get 1 poison counter. And then additionally it states whenever any creature we control becomes the target of any spell, then our opponent is going to get a poison counter as well. So targeted removal from our opponent is not the best. And then our deck is also filled with ways to target our creatures. That way we can push through our poison. Typically 1 Rotpriest is not enough to get the job done, so we have a bunch of ways to either tutor or copy the Rotpriest. 4 Mockingbirds to copy it. 4 Green Sun is a cheap way to pull it out of the deck. March of Burgeoning Life can essentially copy one that we have in play already by going and grabbing another one out of our deck. And then Invasion of Ikoria can either return one from our graveyard or grab one out of our deck as well. When it comes to targeting our Rotpriests, Secret Identity can give one of our creatures hexproof, protecting it from a removal spell, or we can give it Flying and Vigilance, allowing it to fly over our opponent's blockers from additional combat damage, generating more poison that way. March of Swirling Mist can phase out our Rotpriest and can also target multiple creatures, generating even more poison. And Tyvar Stand can give one of our creatures hexproof and indestructible, good against both targeted removal and board wipes. Then we have some value-oriented cards, Experimental Augury letting us proliferate while also having some selection. The best card in the deck, Hidden Strings, letting us tap or untap up to 2 target permanents, and then the Cipher ability means we get to imprint it under one of our creatures, and anytime that creature deals combat damage to an opponent, we get to cast a copy of Hidden Strings for free. Usually ends the game very quickly once we get this under a creature. Serum Snare as a tempo play, and also lets us proliferate. Sinister Reflections can generate some additional copies of the Rotpriest to our hand. And Tandem Takedown is a great way to target multiple Rotpriests while also interacting with our opponents. Since we do have a tutor package in the deck, we are also running Deathrite Shaman as some graveyard hate, although it's really only useful against the Reanimator decks, not the Oops All Spells variants, since it can only target one thing at a time. And then lastly, there's Cankerbloom for some artifact or enchantment removal, and if it's not needed in that capacity and we draw it naturally, we could always use it to proliferate to get the last point of damage if needed. We haven't really played the deck since the recent resurgence of Oops All Spells, so I'm interested to see how we do in that matchup. I know that's a fairly quick deck on our opponent's side, and we don't necessarily have a ton of interaction for it, so I imagine it's going to end up being a bad matchup for us, especially if we're on the draw, but that's something we'll wait to see once we get into the gameplay. Outside of that, historically, we've had pretty good matchups against most of the decks. Even though we're playing some weenie creatures, we can usually protect them fairly well with our instants. And if our opponent's trying to remove them with targeted removal, it's usually more beneficial for us than it is for them. So without further ado, let's jump into the games and see how the deck does. This hand is a bit slow. We'll give it a try. Starting on a tap land. Steam Vents tapped. Now that we drew a Rotpriest, we can just play it out normally. Opponent is on a control deck of sorts. Try to hit in. Fading Hope, I think we just let it go back to hand. Play it back out. That's the same poison either way. And it's just Sky Control. Can shock in. Don't mind this. And I do think we're going to Green Sun here. I know we're playing into a board wipe, but we need to start applying more pressure. They fetch right away. Not a good sign. It's just going to get a plains. It is. That's actually not the worst. Do we start poisoning our opponent? I think we can use one of them here. Actually, we could probably use both. Then we don't necessarily need to shock in. We can play out our land tapped here, pass the turn. Lightning Helix be another 2. We'll try and save this. They either have to counter this or use another spell, and the counter means that our other Rotpriest will resolve. Does Hidden Strings do it? Does not. So we're just going to pass the turn here. Is this a Snapcaster? Looks like it. No, Treasure Cruise. And a board wipe. That's fine. Go grab our Rotpriest. Copy it with Mockingbird. And then Hidden String should be game. That game was pretty fun. Had some good back and forth. No Rotpriest here. Has to be a mulligan. This one is okay. Between putting back a land and exploring with Augury or Serum Snare. Probably going to draw into more lands. We'll put back the Breeding Pool. Opponent starts with a Vista, fetches right away, and they get white. I think we're going to take it slow here. No need to play into removal that our opponent telegraphed. It's going to be a control deck. This is actually good for us. It means that they're not going to be able to remove the Rotpriest through our protection spells. They try to march it. We're going to start on the Hexproof. They might have a board wipe that we need Indestructible for. They have a second send here, it looks like. Do we use something over the top here? I think we will. And our opponent just concedes. Don't blame them. This was going to be very difficult for them to come back from. Not going to cut it here. This one's also pretty bad. I think we have to keep this one. We'll put back the Augury and probably the Sinister Reflection. Hidden Strings is just so much more powerful. And we're kind of all in at this point. Play out the Rotpriest, pass the turn. See what kind of combo jank we're up against. I imagine it's oops all spells, but you never know. And it is. And they shock in as well. Here we'll target their Shambling Ghast. Well, With the first one, we can actually just untap both of our lands. Then with this one, we want to tap down their Ghast. And we could probably start targeting our priest here. Alternatively, we could Green Sun. Do we think our opponent needs this Ghast? I think they do. Let's see what they want to do here. Yep, so they kept the culling the weak hand. We will target our priest. And then it doesn't really matter what we target with the other one. We'll Green Sun, grab another Rotpriest. Should be lethal next turn if our opponent can't kill us here. Love to see a Charbelcher come out of this. So it's going to be the Spy. Makes things a little bit more difficult. Especially if they can kill us right here. Let's see, 3 Narcomoebas. Means they're going to be able to hit in and kill us in the air. They needed to have one of those in hand. This deck is really going all in with the Bloodghast. Don't necessarily agree with that. Scheming Symmetry for tutoring. Really wild. But it's enough. This hand is okay. We'll keep. Lurrus deck usually indicates auras. Are they going to plot here? Strike it rich. So it's going to be Ruby Storm. I think we just have to play out the Rotpriest. I hope our opponent doesn't have any removal for it. Otherwise, we're likely going to be too slow, which we might be too slow already. It is going to be Ruby Storm, and it looks like we could be dead as early as next turn. Just phase out any creature. So we could phase out their Ral next turn. Let's see, the Mockingbird is better here. Unfortunately, we were on the draw. Otherwise, we'd be able to play out another Rotpriest or target our own with the Swirling Mist. They play out Ral. Love to see Manamorphose go on the stack here, as opposed to a Ritual. They do a Ritual first. I think we're still going to respond here. And we are going to exile Secret Identity. Did I not do this right? Get a couple poison marked. Looks like our opponent might also have a Manamorphose in hand as well. That worked. Do they have enough to go off anyway? Or are they going to pass the turn here? Maybe a Past in Flames. They're looking at their graveyard. Storm of Memories. Not the end of the world here. Is going to generate a bunch of mana for them, but they don't have a ton of card draw yet. So it depends what they have in hand. Ruby Medallion is going to help them significantly. Another impulse. They didn't play out the medallion first. That is objectively a mistake. And there they played one from hand. So they're either really confident or they're making small mistakes. Well, looks like they're fizzling so far. 3 cards left to continue digging. They flash back Manamorphose. This will generate 2 mana. They desperately need more rituals. Oh, what is this? Alright. So, here we can mark 2 poison from the attacks. Only goes up to 4 poison with Tyvar's stand. We can green sun for another Rotpriest. We just play out the one from hand. I think we start with the one from hand. It's only 8 poison available. We'll do the only thing we can. Grab another Rotpriest. If we untap, the game is over next turn, so grabbing Graveyard Hate doesn't matter. They pass the turn. Oh, up. Oh my god. Thought that was going to cancel the casting. Oh. Let me just attack in. Give Indestructible, 4 more poison. And this should be lethal, but that was a total punt. I think we got a bit lucky there too. Our opponent kind of stumbled there, even though we did make the correct play of phasing out route. This hand is fine. And it looks like we're up against Reanimator. I think we're going to try and get the Shaman down early here. They do have removal in their deck, Sylvan Library, so maybe not, more of a control deck. We'll play out the pathway on blue, play out the Rotpriest, and then no need to attack. I think this is the first time I've seen Sylvan Library in play on Arena. You used to see it quite a bit in some of the more Eternal formats. And another Reflecting Pool. So our opponent is doing quite well. They kept all of their cards there. Mockingbird. Could try to use that first. See if they have instant speed removal for the Rotpriest. Could be a counter spell. That's fine. We'll see what they get with their learn. At this point, we're really just mana hungry. We want to get as much lands as we can. We have plenty of interaction in our hand. Abandon attachments. Draw a couple more cards. They keep both of these as well. And what is this? Untap target land. Don't really care about that. We'll just go to our turn here. See what they discard. Another Divide by 0, Biblioplex. And we do find the land here. So let's see. We don't have any way to exile instant and sorcery. We don't have black mana in our deck. Could try to play out another Mockingbird here. See if this resolves first. Then we're going to attack in with both. Opponent goes down to 1. We'll pass the turn. They get rid of a force. So your board wipe won't do it here due to Tyvar stand. They'll need the 3 mana one that exiles. Looks like they don't find what they're looking for, so that's game. Don't really know what our opponent's plan was here either. Are they on a 60 card deck? Yeah. So really no idea what they're playing. This hand, a bit slow. We do have some graveyard hate. We'll give it a try. Start on the Sanctum, play out the Shaman. That way if our opponent's on Reanimator, we have it up on turn 2. Vault of Whispers. Opponent is on combo. Don't think we attack in. We'll just go grab our priest. Pass the turn. They're likely looking to use Beseech the Mirror since they have Vault in their deck. And this is going to take the Mockingbird most likely. Shambling Ghast. So, don't really have a good attack with the Rotpriest. Could use Invasion to get a creature into play. Could bounce this card with Serum Snare. Don't have anything to proliferate yet. I think we're going to use Invasion. We'll play the starting town since it's the last turn it comes in untapped. Then we'll go grab another priest. No attack. Gix. Are they able to combo already? Not quite. Unfortunately, Dreamweavers is also a good blocker in the air. Don't really want to bounce any of their cards. Takedown's pretty good. Now that we know that they're on a Gix deck, we can hold up Deathrite Shaman. So what we'll do here, tap for colorless, bounce one of our Rotpriests. Proliferate. We're going to shock in here, make our opponent think we drew a 1 mana spell that we can cast. We'll also hold full control. And then we'll pass the turn. This also holds up Deathrite Shaman to exile something from their graveyard. No need to block here. We'll let our opponent know they made a mistake. Down to 12. Our opponent doesn't have any removal here. We should win the game with the takedown. They start with the freebooter. Don't know how the nightmare's worded. We'll get to find out now. If I remove the creature they're targeting, sacrifice a creature, returns to its hand, then you return the card. So exiling the card is not going to stop this bouncing to hand. We probably want to wait until we can grab the Gix. And we'll take it out right now. They have another one in hand. Not much we can do about it. Chittering Skull Speaker is not going to do it. They have 1 mana left in play. Oh man, brutal. That ruins our whole game plan. Breeding Pool's not going to do it. We'll just pass the turn, hold up the Deathrite Shaman. Do they have any creatures in graveyard? No creatures yet. We'll take 3. Don't usually see cards like this in the deck. Obviously, it's good against what we're doing. Then when they go to pick this up, we can just eat whatever they're targeting. Might have to eat the Plague Crafter, though, if that's what they sacrifice. This is sorcery speed only. Serum Snare can bounce something. This is an instant speed. Can bounce our Rotpriest. Could bounce an attacker. Don't think that necessarily works the way we want it to. We'll play out our land tap now. And think we're just going to pass the turn. We could block and bounce. Don't hate that. Did that really not proliferate on our opponent? You gotta be kidding me. Second Nightmare. Again, these are sorcery speed, so not the end of the world, but it could make things difficult. We'll eat the Rotpriest out of our graveyard. Can fight something here. What do we want to go for? Can wait until next turn. Don't mind that, actually. That might allow us to get in for an attack. Opponent swings in with everything. I think we take it. That's fine. Do we drain our opponent at the cost of 1 life? Probably not. We're not going to win with combat damage. We'll fight the Blood Witch. Then here, we can go up to 7 using the Shaman. Say if we lose by 1 poison, I'm going to be so mad. So this is less than, not less than equal to, so we can't use it. And do we eat right now? Don't think so. Well, based on this, we are going to eat, and we'll take the Blood Witch. So if they were them, attack in, sack the Plague Crafter. Do that a couple times. Definitely don't agree with this. The priest is, well, it's just going to be game. So we had a bit of blunders there, but I don't think it made a difference in the end. This hand is pretty good. Graveyard hate, we're going to see discard. think that we're going to start on the Death Ray. We do have Green Sun. Yeah, we'll send Rotpriest out to die. Guess that's enough to convince our opponent not to play. Alright, so there you have the deck, and still put up a strong showing, although it didn't feel nearly as dominating in the matchups when we were playing them as it did some of the previous times that we played the deck or similar decks. Most notably, we didn't really get to go crazy with hidden strings during the matches, whereas some of the previous times we played the deck, that card really dominated and was able to generate a lot of poison all by itself. The matches we lost, one was up against the Oops All Spells deck, which we were on the play, I believe, and still came up one turn too short on that one. Although we did have the cards to deal lethal poison the following turn if we had had a past line turn from our opponent, but they were playing the faster Phoenix version. And then the other match that we lost was up against the Priest of Gix deck, which, again, we had a good setup for. We had our Death Ray in play early in the game, which really should have locked down their combo. They did come up with a clutch Thoughtseize to take our tandem takedown the turn before we won the game. They were also running a couple cards in their deck that are not stock, which, whether you want to say that it's the matchmaker specifically matching up against weaker cards or just variants, I'll leave that up to you. But in the end, we ended up dropping that one. Still pretty happy with how the deck is functioning. Some of the 2-drops like Augury or Serum Snare are flex spots where you look at what the current meta is and you swap them out accordingly. You could increase your protection spells. You could try and get a little bit more graveyard hate in the main deck, since the fastest decks in the format are currently graveyard oriented. So a couple different ways you can go with this one, and I do think I'm going to tinker with it a bit more and play some more matches in the next week or so to see if it feels better, specifically targeting graveyard hate. Although I don't know if there's anything really synergistic that we can bring into the deck, but that's something we'll take a look at. If you've made it this far in the video and haven't already done so, I ask that you please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.